Hey guys, it's Dave Wood and of course Dave Sharp with the Empower Network again, and we just wanted to communicate with you just a message about, who we really are. Because a lot of times when you're looking into a company, the leaders are not open and authentic. They're in fact not open and not authentic, and you look at them, you just can't trust them, right? Because they're not around. You can't get a hold of them. In fact, nobody can get a hold of them. Nobody knows who they are. They're kind of behind somewhere, and they just want people to click on a website and buy something, right? Which, I mean, you're welcome to buy, of course, at any time. But the reality is that we're a little bit different. We come from a different background. We're actually marketers, and we started in the trenches like you. In fact, we're in the trenches right now, and that's actually a core vision of the Empower Network, is we actually make money in this company the same way everybody else does. We're not the gurus at the top of the mountain. We, of course, I do live at the top of the mountain, so that's probably not a good thing to say, because then people see me in the mountain, and they're like, well, I actually are. But the reality is that we started like you, maybe even a worse situation than you. We started earning less money than you're earning with the Empower Network by being a member of this. You get to keep 100% commissions, obviously, so it's obviously just a little bit different. And we are out there every day in the game, writing copy, creating emails, doing offline marketing, online marketing, doing paid advertising, doing email blasts, all the things that we teach people how to do, blogging every single day, and we're a part of this. So how did we really get started? Well, I'm going to turn it over to Dave here, and if you guys haven't actually got a chance to shake Dave's hand at an event or get to meet him, Dave is actually one of the most well-known copywriters in the online network marketing industry. And what a copywriter is they're somebody who sells through words, all right? It's a skill that not everybody is good at. Not everybody actually even has a natural talent for. And Dave actually not only is talented naturally, but he writes these little emails that'll bring in $5 or $10 or $15,000 in an hour or two, and it really is unbelievable just reading them, because I want to buy stuff every time I read his emails, right? And he didn't start like that. So what we want to do is just kind of share a little bit more about who we are. We're going to start with Dave. All right, and then I'm going to share a little bit about who I am, and then we're going to share a little bit about who this company is, and also the leaders in our organization, because this video is really about, who are the leaders, who are these guys, right?
Sure, absolutely. Well, my name is David Sharp. Welcome to this video. Welcome to the Empower Network. Honor and a privilege to be here in business with Dave Wood and with our members. It's funny that you mentioned about copywriting, because again, for those of you who are not familiar with the marketing industry and how things happen with marketing in general, copywriting is just essentially writing down words that are in a persuasive and influential manner that get people to take action, whether it be click an email or see a banner on the side of the highway and make you want to call something and buy something or get a free estimate. Here's the interesting thing, though. I really started out, I was not born with a marketing silver spoon, a copywriting silver spoon, anything like that. When I got started, I actually started to generate a couple of leads on the internet. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what happened before that, but I actually started to generate a few leads on the internet, and I would go and I would write these little emails to people, and they would actually send them back to me, and they would say, I just can't even stand to read this. It's so bad. I mean, the grammar was horrible. The spelling was bad. I mean, the stories just didn't even make sense. I actually would forward emails over to Erin, who's my partner, and she would actually look over them and say, yeah, I would probably tweak this, or yeah, it's okay to send out. Go ahead, Dave, it's fine. And that's essentially how I started inside of this industry. Now, by becoming serious, a student of the game, and really caring about my future, I've been able to do some things that are pretty amazing. Sometimes I still have to pinch myself. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to now be a part of a system and a solution that other people can actually tap into and have success. But just to kind of go back in time just a little bit more, I actually came from a place of a lot of defeat, a lot of pain, a lot of problems. I actually spent several years in addiction, struggling, homelessness, going through all kinds of different issues in my life, to where it really took me to a point to where my knees became bloody because I was on them so often, just really in a situation of being a desperate person. Now, this was some because of my environmental circumstances. It had a lot to do with just my own personal decisions. I'm not a victim of anything. However, I do know what it's like to go through personal situations, personal struggles. It came a point about 4 years ago, as of recording this video, to where I actually had a decision to make. I could actually continue to live the way that I was living, or I could make a decision to ask somebody for help. I crawled my way into a room, asked a man to help me save my life. He did 4 years later. My life is a completely different life than I've lived the majority of my life. A couple of years later, actually, I was on a construction site, because that's what I did before I got involved in the marketing industry. I swung a hammer, remodeled bathrooms, remodeled kitchens, laid tile down. Shoot, I did anything that it took to put food on the table. And I was on a job, and a man named John came up to the job, and he said, "Dave, I think you should take a look at this." And even though I was desperate for something to happen in my life, I was still a little pessimistic and closed-minded, didn't really think that anything could really happen for me. Eventually, I actually got started in that business, and that took me on a journey of struggle once again, until I ran into some people like Dave and some information that allowed me to start earning more money than I'd ever made in my entire life, start doing more things that I loved with the people that I loved doing them with, and experiencing a life beyond my wildest dreams. Today I sit here in front of you as a part of a movement, of a part of a solution, of a part of a system that anyone, not just a guru, not just somebody who's got previous experience, but somebody who is just like me when I got started, swinging a hammer on a construction site with no previous experience. I didn't actually even own a computer. I'm a part of a solution and a system now that even those people can get in, get involved with, and make a whole lot of money.
Well, that's incredible, Dave. And, my situation, actually, it's kind of funny listening to you, because we kind of got similar stories. Dave was homeless, and so was I.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is kind of funny, two homeless guys starting a company that changes the world. But,
Sure.
The reality is I was homeless, too. And I was homeless, actually, for a little different reasons. I didn't have a drug problem, but I had a money problem, definitely. And we lived my wife and I lived in a green 1996 Dodge Caravan, had the green paint peeling off and rusting, because, of course, if you've ever lived in Hawaii, cars just rust because it's near the salt water in the ocean. And we used to get woken up almost every night by a drug dealer, the police, getting a ticket. I remember I was down to last few bucks in my bank account. I had just gotten fired from my job that was a Greenpeace job. I was actually one of these guys that wore the blue Greenpeace shirts and wandered around on the street corners hitting people up for, little donations to Greenpeace there, and we'd get a commission, of course, when we'd get donations. So I was motivated, making $1,000 a month or something, working full time. It was really not a fun job. But in any case, so I got fired from this job at Greenpeace, right? So I'm sitting there thinking about not having money, because I just got fired from the only job that I could find in Hawaii, and then I got a knocking on my window. Police came, and they literally woke me up in the middle of the night, and they gave me a ticket. So apparently it's illegal to be homeless and not have any money, right? So I actually had to pay my last money for this stupid ticket, and I paid it angrily, by the way. And then, I kind of started thinking, I was like, something's got to change here. There's a little bit something disconnected with my life financially, and it can't be other people's faults. I mean, yes, I was in a recession, but one of the things I think could be the most empowering thing, that is what we're about, is empowering people, so I can tell you this, is taking responsibility. Right? So looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you know what, Bill Gates pulls up pants, one leg at a time too, and I got to take responsibility for my life, good or bad. And so I took responsibility, and I decided to take some action. I decided that I was going to do something different. I decided to start some businesses. So I borrowed money. Why? Because I didn't have any. Now, I didn't actually, have such inexpensive options like we have in the Empower Network available to me when I started. My business originally was a few $100s I got involved with, and then I needed a bunch of extra tools and resources, because we didn't have this automated process. As you see when you click on the images on this blog, and as you go through and you look at these things, we're not even actually really even selling anything here. We're giving these resources to you for just nothing, virtually, right?
Absolutely.
So we're actually giving you resources that not only are we basically just giving them to you, but you're actually earning 100% of the money. So we're giving you rights to earn you see 100% commissions all over this site, all over in the copy, because we pay 100% commissions, all right? So if you look through this, I didn't get anything like that. Little piddly commissions I was earning from lots of little different sources, but those piddly little commissions added up to a lot. We never criticize anything out there, anything else that doesn't pay 100% commissions, because you know what, you can earn money in that too, just usually not as fast, all right? And so I got started with all this stuff, started making a tremendous income. So here I am living in a van, started a little business, start making some money. I needed to focus a bit more, so I actually moved in with my parents. this, all right? My wife went and she got a job as a hostess while I lived with my parents sitting in this little room, and I started making more money. I started just sitting there all day and night, and I was working all day and night. It was not as simple as what we have as the Empower Network. Sure. My system was extraordinarily complicated. I had stuff going on all over the place, websites I was setting up. I wasn't a web designer, and I was trying to be. I don't know if you've ever felt like that, right? I had stuff going on, SEO going on. I had to learn what SEO was, right? We didn't any simple process whatsoever. There was no unified training whatsoever like we have today. And you know what happened is I started to make a lot of money just working my brains off. And I could do it, but my people couldn't do it. Sure. And that's what I noticed. So I had this tremendous ability to just kind of pull money out of thin air after I knew how to do it. I started off by struggling to get money, and then I learned how money operated. And then it was like, well, I want $10,000. Right? Pull it out of thin air. It was really unbelievable. And that's marketing skill. That's copywriting. That's learning how to get traffic. That's all these skills. And I realized, though, this kind of money is not accessible to most of the people in my team because they're not full-time, they don't have the background, and they can't just work 15 hours a day for 6 months straight like I did in the beginning. And yes, it was worth it. Yes, I started to make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a week, but I have compassion for the moms who just can't work that hard, not because they don't have the energy, but because they got kids all over the house screaming, and they can just boil down, get in front of a computer for 2 hours and just work for 2 hours a day. I had compassion for the people that are busy corporate executives who are making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month at their job. They can't let go of it because they got a mortgage, they got cars, they got bills, and they literally just can't sit there for 15 hours a day for 6 months to replace their income. They've got to do it part-time, and I had compassion for that because I realized that they actually can't make this kind of money because they'd have to quit, they'd have to leave their kids for 6 months, they can't do it. So I started coming up with a solution. That's when Dave and I really connected because he had a skill set that was a little bit different than mine, right? We're both compelling in different ways. And I said, we could really come together and we can create something that anybody can do. And that's how we came to this place in the Empower Network, to where this is actually an organization where you can actually make more money than we do. You actually make money here the same way that we do as a company. We're actually in the game with you, marketing with you, doing internet marketing and offline marketing with you, and we're making money the same way that you're making money. So what is a leader? A leader is somebody that leads by example. Am I the greatest leader ever lived? I think not, right? I think there's some better ones than me, but I'll tell you something that we are for you is we are leading by example. So if you guys want to see how to make a lot of money online, do what we do.
Absolutely.
Because we're there with you. And every kind of money that we're making right now, right? You guys have access to the money we have access to. So here is what I want to encourage you to do. If you're on this video, it means that you're either in and you're kind of thinking about it. Maybe you're in and you're serious, or you're just checking it out. Regardless of where you are, I think that there's one thing that you need to do. You need to take action. Now, you can do that in a couple different ways. There's obviously the images. You float over them with your mouse, and the image changes a little, encouraging you to click on them at any time. And you also could proceed to the next video and learn a little bit more about what we're doing and how we get money and the leadership and the vision of where we're really going together. But here's where we're a little different, and I just want you to be aware of this. We're not paying you checks here. You're writing your own checks. Why? Because you're actually getting the money deposited directly into your bank account. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, what's the easiest way? Is it by getting little affiliate checks and letting them all stack up to $10,000? No, it's by having a business where the $10,000 is deposited directly to you. We actually do that here. We have agreements. We can get you approved for merchant accounts if you have bankrupt credit. And I'm not even playing around. We actually can. We've got agreements to do that because our corporate sites are totally secure and they're already evaluated by all the proper companies, everything. So we can actually help you have a business where you earn all the money. Borrow our skill. We can sell like nobody's business. There's very few people in the world who have the ability to sell like Dave and I. There's like 1 in 80 million people or some crazy thing can even sell remotely as well as us because we've got a natural ability that we've also developed. We'll teach you to do that. In the meantime, though, you can actually borrow our skill. You don't need to set up sales funnels here. You don't need to know how to set up blogs here. You don't need to know how to do anything here but decide that you want to be a part of what we're doing. You want to earn 100% commissions, and you're willing to do what it takes. I just wanted to welcome you aboard personally.
Absolutely, and I want to just say this before we move on to the next video, or before you decide to take action, before you decide to share this video, like it, add a comment below. We really encourage you to do all of those things. Spend as much time as you need here on this page, watching these videos, sharing, liking stuff, commenting below, click at the banners, doing what you need to do to feel comfortable to move forward, But what I want to remind you of is that, again, it's really about creating a dynasty of people, a movement that's realistic, that's transparent, that's authentic, of people who are rising up, who are locking arms, who are taking action, who care about each other, who are developing leaders and investing in other people's interests, just like Dave and I are investing in your interest right now with your best interest in mind. This is really about you. This is not about us. If it was about us, we wouldn't be paying 100% commissions. We wouldn't have built a system that converts sales like nothing else on the internet. Literally, is all you have to do is click the banner, get started.